When last time I say the Bible never lies, okay? Love thy neighbor. Because sometimes I might sound rough or hard. Love thy neighbor is described by what? By loving yourself first. If you love yourself first, then you can love thy neighbor. Okay. Why did I say that African they don't have this rule? It's not in us because you are selfish. Why do I say that the white people they love themselves? Because it's not difficult to see. Every time these people think how to improve their countries, when they improve, what does that mean? It's not about themselves. It's about the population. It's about how to make structure good, hospital good, place to be good. They try their best. I don't say that they are perfect. No. But at least for their people. I don't talk about the politics they do to Africans, because Africans themselves, they should stand up for their own and fight them. Okay? You cannot expect your enemy to just stop. You have to fight. I gave you an example of Germany, who went through the silent war, who went through the situation, but they were resilient. They stood up again and they became powerful again. We in Africa, we like to complain, we like to be the victim. That's all we do. All we do. And when we have more freedom, it's gossiping, gossiping, gossiping. Okay? So, you see that they build their countries. They always think, how can we improve? In Africa, we don't have it. Especially Central Africa. Great. But the problem is, even when it happens like that, people see. But what do? Nothing. Because some of these people around are okay with it, as long as the person in power is affiliated by blood, by family, or by tribe, or ethnic group. I don't know how you say that in English. That's all. That's why I say witchcraft. African people like witchcraft. Because a hurt like that is witchcraft. Because if you are okay that someone can damage your country, mismanage, and everybody is paying, and you are okay, you close your mouth because that person is from your same family or the same tribe, that's how you know that it's witchcraft. Okay? It's witchcraft. This part, Africans are very special, okay? I've never seen a people like that. No, me, I'm from heaven. I just happen to be in Africa. Seriously. Because, sometimes you can sit here, you observe. Say, what is it? Africa need revival. We need revival. Only revival from the God that we pray will change this continent. I say it. Europe that we love, we like to go to Europe and America. Christian, ask them, they had revival there. That's why we still have, if you see their laws are influenced by some Christianity. Yeah. So people who hate Christian know that when you live what you do there in Europe or in America, Christian, love thy neighbor. When you become Christian, you love yourself, you love God first, and you love yourself like thy neighbor. It's the second commandment, if I'm not wrong. The first commandment is to love God. I asked you last time how witchcraft is helping Africa. Then I asked how this traditional spirituality that we are doing is helping Africa. These presidents, they are doing spiritual African spiritualities. Why they do that? Why they don't feel like they have to change for the best people? You see that when I say there is a lot here, okay. Last time, let's come back to Cameroon a little bit because it's very interesting. It's quite. It was shocking when Biya said he went. Look how Biya is. It was shocking. Okay, almost like a Walking Dead. I'm sorry to say that. He is extremely tired. Okay. But when you look a little bit the history, because I'm not from Cameroon, but I read a little bit about the history. And I was impressed by the history. Why? Because at the time I think, when they were colonization at the time, because Cameroon was originally was under German possession, if I'm not wrong. Namibia, Cameroon, they were, which country again? They were German possession. And when Germany lost the war, if I'm not wrong, they lost this possession, if I'm not wrong, and among them Cameroon. Okay, that the French took. But I told you how the French are. The French are extremely oppressive. If you read the French colonization, they were ugly. They were awful. French colonization was awful. Okay. Now, what happened? You have the member of UPC. I don't know how to call them in English. UPC was the front of the people who were fighting for the freedom. Among them was a well-known figure, emblematic, I will say, for the freedom of Cameroon, Nyobe. If you know him, for those who read a lot, you probably heard about him. Nyobe was a man, because when I read about the history and then I went online to watch a little bit because I was impressed by their history. These people like Nyobe, these people like Félix Moumié, these people like Ernest Wanye, who gave their lives. When I say these people gave their lives for Cameroon, he died. He was a doctor, physician, doctor, intellectual person. But he dropped everything for the cause of his country. How Félix Moumié died? He died, he was poisoned. Remember what I say, poison, because sometimes they will meet journalists, European journalists sometimes, I think maybe French journalists or something like that, who were sent by the power and they poisoned them. When he felt the poison in his, what he ate or drank, he knew he was in trouble. He called his wife Marthe Moumié. He told her, they poisoned me, I'm about to die. I don't know what the recommendation he told her before he died, but I remember that she had an interview where she said, my husband was asking me to read every time. Do you hear what she said? He asked me to read every time. Mark was a nurse, but she was reading every time. She was reading every time, political article reading, because the power is in the knowledge. She was a nurse, but she got involved for the freedom of her country. And the way these people die one by one, if I tell you how Ernest Wanye died, if I tell you how Nyobe died, Nyobe went to the United Nations at the time to ask that they give freedom Cameroon and they reunite Cameroon, because Cameroon was divided at the time. I don't know what was happening. It's kind of complex. Today, few months ago, last year I talked about them, to a guy from Cameroon, almost like he was like, oh, it's nothing, people who die for your country. You don't even know them. One. But where I want to go is like, how come these people were so brave? If they see this country today, the way they died, you know how Marthe Moumié died? they strangle her in her old age. They rape her and they strangle her to death. Who did it? Okay? These people gave their lives for their country, for Cameroon. But when you see today, Paul Biya is still in power. I don't know if these people, if they were alive, if they can see, they'll be rolling on their grave. Just to name an example. Okay? You see all these people, because I was impressed by the history of the UPC. UPC, huh? That was the name of the, UP. I mean, it was it was a party of, it was a group of, they were revolutionary, okay? But when you see today, the country for which they died for, look, Cameroon today, Biya is still in power. What can you say about that? This is Central Africa.